Hi, my name is Krista Cala, and I would like to demonstrate to you how to change the E string on the violin. Before I do that, I would like to talk about the E string a little bit and also discuss the supplies or materials that will be helpful for changing a string. My daughter's E string broke last night, so I'm changing the E string on my daughter's violin. It broke down at the bottom part where the string attaches to the fine tuner. This is a very common place for the E string to break. The other common place for it to break, this is her broken string that I'm holding right here, is up near the top where the string is going over the nut before it attaches onto the peg. The E string is the most likely violin string to break, and that is because it's a wire string. Your other strings are usually made out of a synthetic core or wrapped in silver or pearlon. There's several different types of compositions for the G, D, and A string. But the E string typically is a wire or a metal, made out of some metal. My E string is gold, and this one is not, because it's my daughter. The string I'm going to be using, the string that broke and the string that I'm really be replacing it with, is Perostro's Gold Label Wondertone E string. This is a very common brand of E string. Her other strings are dominants, but I don't care for the dominant E string. It doesn't seem to last very long. This is a long-lasting, good E string, good quality E string to have. One thing you need to know before you purchase an E string is whether you have you need a ball or a loop E string. And the way to determine that is to look at your violin at the bottom here where the fine tuner is. You will either have a little prong sticking up, like I do, like right here. I don't know if you can see. When we have a single prong, you need the loop E string. If it attaches the way your other strings attach, you will need the ball. So when you go to buy the string, you need to specify whether it is a loop or a ball. So I don't know if you can see in the back here, it shows a loop. If you purchase a ball and you need a loop, it's a little bit awkward to change that. Okay. Other things you need, you might need a pair of tweezers, you might not. I do recommend using peg compound. This compound that I'm using is made by Hill. And you need some graphite, so I use a pencil for the graphite. If you have not cleaned your violin off lately, you need to have your rag. So, before I change the string, I'm going to wipe off any rosin, any debris that's along the violin over here. Make sure that the bridge is nice and clean. I will apply the graphite to the nut where the string is going over the nut. This helps lubricate that area, just helps the string slide a little bit easier. And I'm also going to put it on the bridge. So I just put a little bit of pencil in there. Do keep an eye on your bridge throughout the changing process. Her bridge is starting to hoof forward a little bit. As I am changing the string, I will be trying to bring the bridge back to its proper positioning. Okay, so I put the graphite on. Then you want to take the peg out of the peg box. Now most pegs are made of wood. They should be. Quality pegs are. And your peg box is made out of wood. So you have wood grinding, turning on wood. So the peg compound is used to help lubricate the peg. If you ever have pegs that stick or that slide, you probably need some peg compound on it. If you could come in closer here and look at this peg, you see that there's some shiny spots, kind of some black shinier spots. That's the area where the peg is rubbing against the wood of the peg box. And so you want to put just a little bit of, you don't need a lot, you just put a little bit of peg compound in that area. I just kind of do a swipe around each side. And again, this lubricates the peg as it's being turned inside the peg box. Okay, so then I will reinsert the peg into the peg box. Basic piece of information about changing your strings. Your G and D string are on the left side of the peg box, so you want those strings to line up against the left side of the peg box. The string actually will be touching there. The A and the E are on the right side of the peg box, so you want to have the string be wrapped around on the right side. Your string should always come over the top of the peg. They should never come underneath and around. It should always come from the top over onto the violin. Now, can you see that okay? See how the G and the D are on the right side of the peg box? Whereas we don't have the E on here, and the A is on the right side. This is very important because our pegs are held in by tension, and if you don't have your string wrapped properly, your pegs will be more likely to pop out of the peg box, and your string will unwind, and it's harder to keep your violin in tune. Okay, so I'm going to open up the string here. Exciting stuff with opening up the brand new string. Okay. A lot of E strings come, and this one does too, with this little plastic piece on it. This is to help keep the E string, which is your metal string, from digging into your bridge and cutting through it. I take these off. This violin has a reinforced bridge. It's very easy to have your violin guy reinforce the bridge. Good quality violins or bridges will be reinforced. I do not like to keep this on the string because it will rattle as the string vibrates. It will cause it to rattle. So I just slide that off. Oops. Try to slide that off, and I discard it. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to start trying to put the string on. First I attach it down here at the bottom to the loop, and then I string, it goes through the bridge. Okay, so I have to do the string over the top here. So it's going to come over, and I find the holes here. I think I can find the holes. Oh goodness, here it is. Okay, I pull the string through, and I leave a little, I call a tail, a little bit of extra string coming out the other side. Then I'm going to wrap the string over that tail to kind of nail it down. I'm going to do at least one wrap, better to do two. Then once I have that tail secured, I bring the string over to the right because I want it to wrap against the peg box. And I just tighten it up that way. So now I have the string on, not too hard. Whenever I tune a new E string, this is a little bit paranoid, but I have had E strings pop while they're being tightened and tuned. So whenever I have a new E string that I just put on and I'm tightening it, I always face it away from me, so that way if the string pops, it's going to pop out here. I have had a string pop and cut me over here. So then I just bring the string up. And we're done. We have a string. The E string is now on the violin. Good luck, and thank you.